Hello, welcome to Corey's Corner. This is episode 27 of my beginner Ruby tutorial series. And we are going to be building an ATM simulator where we can deposit money, withdraw money, and check our balances. Additionally, we're going to be able to lock users out. We're going to have a whole verification system where if the verification fails after 3 times, the account is frozen. So you can try this on your own, but if not, you can follow along with me. We're going to be touching on a lot of the concepts we learned in earlier videos, so let's get started. The first thing you want to do is create a bank account class. We're going to initialize some variables. First of which is going to be the name belonging to our account and the PIN number of our user. So at name equals name, at PIN equals PIN. Then our balance is initially going to be 0. And we're going to have an account of the attempts, which we try to log into our account for. So now we are going to set some accessor methods to access these instance variables outside of our class. So nef name, we're just going to call name. So I can't remember if I explained this in earlier Ruby videos or not, but you can use the semicolon to basically mark that there's an end of line here. So instead of having 3 lines of code, we can pack this all in one. It's just a piece of punctuation, marking that the line of code has ended. So we have def pin, call our pin instance variable, def balance, we get our balance instance variable, and lastly, our def temps. Now we're going to create a method to set our balance. That's going to be taking a symbol, a mathematical symbol, and it is also going to be taking a amount. So normally, when we have our bank account, we would do something like this, at balance. Oops, I forgot an A. At balance plus equals amount or minus equals amount, but we can actually use metaprogramming to reduce the number of methods we have. So we'll do eval. Oops. At balance symbol equals amount. And we're also going to need a method to increment the number of failed attempts we have. So def increment attempts. How do you spell increment? There we go. We're going to have our attempts plus equals 1. Alrighty, so we initialized our class, then we created some accessor methods, and then we created some setter methods right here. Next thing we're going to do is create our ATM class, which is going to be a child of our bank account class. So this little symbol means that all of the methods and attributes of bank account are inherited by ATM. Just like a child inherits genes from a parent, inherited class inherits all of the data that is in its parent class. Alrighty, so the first thing we want to do is we want to verify if our user is who they say they are. So we're going to create a verified method, and it's going to take an argument of PIN. So if self.pin equals PIN, we're going to return true. Else, we are going to increment our attempts, and we're going to return false. But we also need to check, so we need to see if attempts is greater than or equal to 3, we need to lock ourselves out of this account. So we will do self.freeze. I don't think I did another video on freeze earlier on, but when you freeze a class in Ruby, you're basically making it so nothing in that class can change, or that, rather, the instance of that class can change. Um, so a hacker won't be able to break into our base account, basically. All right, the next thing we need to do with our ATM class is we need to create some private methods. And we want these methods to be private to make sure no random people can withdraw from our bank account. So we'll have def withdraw amount, and we'll do self dot set balance minus, and then amount. Oh, sorry, set balance, not balance. And then we're going to put out a message, puts you've over. Actually, we'll do a warning first. Warning, you have overdrawn your account. If amount is greater than self.balance. This self is optional. I just like to include it. Actually, I don't need to include it here, so I'm not going to. And I'm not going to include self here. The only place I really need to include self is in pin, because if I put just pin right here, it's going to think I'm talking about the function argument. But for now, we will not include self as much as possible. And then we're actually going to call a getBalance function right here. So why don't we go ahead and define that right now. So we're going to do puts actually we'll use the assessor method. Your balance is balance if balance, oh wait, we'll do puts you are broke if balance is greater than or equal to 0. Now we're going to create a deposit function. So def deposit, that will also take an amount. We'll do put, so puts where did you get all that dough if amount is greater than 1,000. And then we are going to set our balance, pass it a plus, and also pass it out. Alrighty. So that is it for our class setup, I believe. Trying to think if I forgot anything else. Alright. So now we're going to create our account as a variable atm.new, the name of Corey, and I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll put in my actual bank pin so someone can rob me. Just kidding. So again, we have no initialize method inside of our ATM class, so it'll default to its parent's initialize method right here. All right. Now we are going to do this. So do while my underscore account dot frozen we'll do that. And then we do if So we're checking if our account is frozen. If it's not frozen, we're going to do puts what is your PIN. Actually, no, I don't know why I did that. And then we will do PIN equals gets.chomp.to_I. And we'll do my underscore account dot verified, and then we'll pass in our PIN. Actually, we'll wrap this in an if statement. So if our account is verified, we'll wrap it in the PIN. Then we'll do puts what would you like to do today? Then we'll have our command equals gets.chomp.to. We're actually going to convert this to a symbol. So instead of typing withdraw, deposit, or get balance, we're going to type GB, W, or D. But to do that, we need to add alias methods, which I covered in the last video. So we're going to create an alias method by the name of D. That's going to stand for deposit. We'll have an alias method of W, and that is going to be withdraw. And then lastly, we'll have an alias method of GB, and that will be get balance. I actually need to add get balance to my deposit method. So if command equals W or D, puts what amount, question mark, and then amount equals gets.chomp.to_I, and then we're going to do my account dot send command amount. So send is actually a way where you can get around the private method thing. So usually in a private method, I can't, if I were to go like this, my account, I can't deposit or withdraw anything. I have no access to these methods. But when you use send, you can actually get around that. And then if not, if our command is not, oh, I actually got to do this. So we have two expressions we're evaluating. I only had one before. So else, we're just going to do myaccount.send command. But we actually also need another if statement. So we need to see if our class responds to the method that we are passing. So we can do if myaccount.respond_to command, and we're going to put all this logic in here. Else puts that is not a command. So if I hover over the response to, it says returns true if an object responds to a given method. Private and protected methods are only included in the search only if the optional second parameter evaluates to true. So we actually need to add true statement right here. Alrighty. So we'll add an if statement here. If my account got frozen, puts you're a hacker, get out of here. I can actually make this a one-line statement. Boom, boom, boom. So that will evaluate after our while loop exits if we get locked out. All right. So that was some tests before. Run the file. What is your PIN? We'll try failing it first. And then I got locked out. So I'll try again. My PIN is 1234. What would you like to do today? Deposit some money. What amount? We'll do $9,000. Whoa, where did you get Corey? Oh, I had a, so that would be in my get balance method. If balance is, this should be less than or equal to 0. So let me check my balance, GB. Corey, your balance is 9,000. I actually need to restart the program for that code to take effect. So what is your PIN? 1234. What would you like to do today? I would like to deposit some money. I'll do $1 billion, something like that. Corey, your balance is whatever that is. What is your PIN? 1234. Well, now I want to withdraw some money, so I type W. And I want to withdraw 900. And then you see my balance corrected. I want to, someone like mugs me while I'm at the ATM, but they didn't get my PIN. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm locked out. All right. So let me walk you through the program one more time. We created a bank account class. The class has a name and a PIN. It also has balance and attempts. We created some accessor methods and then some setter methods to set the number of attempts we have, which will increment by 1 every time our verification fails. And then we set a balance using the eval statement. Our bank account class is the parent of our ATM class, meaning that all the attributes and methods in bank account are also available in our ATM class. So we have a verification function right here where we verify whether the PIN we pass through the command line is true or not. If it is, if there is a match, we return true. If not, we increment the number of failed attempts by 1. If the number of attempts is greater than or equal to 3, we freeze our account, and then we return false to let them know that the verification failed. Then we had 3 methods: get balance, withdraw, and deposit. We added aliases for those methods. And those actually called on the set balance method, which is from our parent class. Boom, boom, boom. Then we use a while loop. So if our account is not frozen, this code will continue to execute. We took some arguments from the command line with chomp. We had to convert those arguments to their proper data type, be it an integer or a symbol. Then we use the respond to method with an optional second argument of true to see if the command we sent corresponds to any private methods in our ATM class. Then we sent our commands, which allowed us to get past the private protection on those methods. And yeah, that is it. So thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe to my podcast. Check out my Medium. I have a bunch of cool blog posts on there about Ruby, Flutter, and more. And of course, thank you for watching. I hope to see you here next time on Corey's Corner.